In a peaceful forest village called Animalia Grove, all kinds of animals live together in harmony. At the heart of the village stood a bustling Saturday market filled with colors, smells, and chatter. Toby, a white and black cat with bright eyes, was known for his sneaky habit, stealing food when no one was looking. His family was poor, and sometimes stealing seemed like the only way. One day, he tried to snatch a fried fish from Mr. Bear's stall. "Again, you little thief!" roared Mr. Bear. "If you keep this up, no one will want you around." Embarrassed and ashamed, Toby ran off and curled up under an old tree, tears in his eyes. "I used to be hungry too, but I worked for my bread instead of stealing it." It was old Mr. Owl, the wise herbalist of the forest. That night, Toby made a decision. He would stop stealing. He would work hard, make money, and build a better life with his own paws. The next morning, Toby went to the market with a tiny basket. Inside were smooth stones he had washed from the stream. He called them Lucky Toby stones. "Who wants some good luck? 1 bean for 1 lucky stone," he called out. Animals turned to stare. Some chuckled, but a little bunny hopped over with curiosity. "My mom says belief comes from the heart," said the bunny, handing over 1 bean. That was Toby's first sale, and to him it felt like a treasure. By the end of the day, he sold 4 stones. It wasn't much, but it was his honest beginning. The next Saturday, Toby added painted designs to his stones and made a small sign for his stall. Customers started returning. But then came Casper, a fluffy white cat with a golden necklace and a shiny wooden table. He sold fancy plush toys at high prices and laughed at Toby's humble goods. Who would want rocks when they could have real toys? He sneered. Toby felt small, but instead of giving up, he visited Mr. Owl again, who taught him how to make floral-scented soap using forest herbs. "Never let someone else's words stop your dreams," Mr. Owl reminded him. The day Toby launched his new soap, the rain poured hard. The market flooded. Customers stayed away, and half his soap melted in the puddles. "Not again," Toby whispered. He spotted Mr. Tortoise still selling under a tiny umbrella, calmly smiling. "Rain isn't bad if you're prepared," Mr. Tortoise said. Inspired, Toby went home, made a proper cover for his stall, used banana leaves to wrap his soaps, and wrote the scent names on dried forest leaves. The next market day, he returned better than before. Soon, Toby's stall became the talk of the village. His soap smelled wonderful, and his packaging was beautiful. He began making hand-bound notebooks and beeswax candles, too. "Why so many things?" asked a curious bear cub.
because I love learning and I want to share that joy," Toby said with a grin. He earned enough to buy a cozy new home for his mother and his 2 little siblings. But more importantly, he hired other struggling animals to help him at the stall. Toby's shop became known as Kind Heart Market. Years passed. Animalia Grove's market grew bigger than ever. Toby, now a famous shopkeeper, still sat at his stall every Saturday, greeting customers warmly like he always had. One morning, Casper, the plush toy seller, walked up. "Remember when I mocked you?" he said quietly. Toby smiled. "Of course, but I'd rather remember what we could do now." He invited Casper to help teach young animals how to make their own crafts and run honest stalls. Casper agreed, and together they turned the market into a joyful learning place where everyone had a chance to shine. Moral of the story: true wealth doesn't come from money alone. It comes from effort, kindness, and the courage to share what you have with others.